Up next on Tiempo, the encouraging story of a student from New York City who worked hard, studied hard, and then was accepted into all 28 colleges where she applied, including 8 Ivy League schools. How she was able to achieve this with the help of her tutor and family. Next. It is a huge honor and a very big deal to get accepted into one Ivy League school. Acceptance rates average about 4%. But get this, a first-generation Latina student from New York City got into 8 Ivy League schools. Ocho. Malena Galletto is a recent graduate of the Bronx High School of Science. She achieved an outstanding 100% acceptance rate to all 28 colleges she applied to. And this fall, very soon, Malena is headed to Harvard, where she plans to double major in government and physics. Wow. Joining us now is Malena Galletto and Frances Kweller from the Kweller Prep Tutoring Center. Bienvenidas. Thank you so much for joining us. Malena, congrats on your accomplishment. When you found out that you were accepted to all 8 Ivies, what was going through your mind?
I could not believe it at all. I was opening all these acceptances through the college acceptance portals, and I genuinely could not believe it. I, had worked so hard throughout this whole application process, and when getting those results, it was unbelievable. And
you submitted 70 essays in all. How does that work? Are these 70 unique essays? Was there some overlap? That's a lot of writing.
Yeah, so basically how it works, a lot of the schools nowadays have supplemental essays that you have to write for each individual school. So while the prompts might be similar, these schools try to have unique prompts. So you have to write a unique essay for each and every single one. So it was a huge time commitment, but I'm so glad I was able to power through that with support from my family and my friends from Kweller Prep, which was so important. So I'm extremely happy that I was able to do it.
Yeah, that's not easy. And you've been working with Kweller Prep since you were in 6th grade. Frances, would you like to tell us a little bit about how this has been working for the past however many years?
This moment is such an honor, but it didn't happen by surprise. Malena worked so hard, and way before she even met Kweller Prep or the tutors in 6th grade. And this work ethic was ferocious. Someone who wants to succeed and can succeed, and we are all very grateful on behalf of all the tutors and the staff and the support that we provided. But the desire to become a success story today was quite a journey. We met Malena in 6th grade preparing for the Hunter exam, which is a fabulous test in reading, writing, math, and essay writing. And that exam, which Malena will elaborate on, was very eye-opening with what you need to know in terms of accelerated learning.
Sure.
So that was really step 1. Wow, this is what it means to take a hard test. And that was our first encounter.
But you didn't end up going to Hunter, you ended up going to science.
Yes, so I did the Hunter Prep course at Kweller Prep. I took the test. Unfortunately, I didn't get into Hunter High School, but I got to see what accelerated learning is all about, and I joined the Kweller community, and that's something I wanted to continue being a part of. So when it was time to take the specialized high schools admissions test, I joined Kweller again and got my first choice, Bronx Science, which I absolutely was so happy for. And I've been working with Kweller ever since.
And now you've gotten into every school that you applied to for college, and you chose Harvard. Why Harvard? Was it your dream school?
It was always my dream school. My parents moved to the United States from Argentina, with this idea, with the American dream. They came here so that their children can study, have an amazing education. And so, getting into Harvard is a privilege, and I'm so happy that this is my reality now.
And do you want to talk a little bit about that cultural influence, having parents from Argentina, and how that inspired you and influenced you, and Frances, what you've seen from Malena's family contributing to her education?
Well, so I think the most important thing is that my family, my parents always taught me that education has to be my #1 priority. It can change your life, and that's something my mom has always taught me, and I'm so grateful for that. In terms of influence from my culture, my parents are tango dancers, so that's something I've been doing my whole life. And
love it.
It was a part of my college applications, and it's something I got to talk about and something I hope to continue for the rest of my life.
That's amazing, wow. And yeah, what you've seen with her relationship with her family and their support throughout the process.
So I want to share what an honor it is that Malena's family chose to invest in Kweller Prep and in terms of getting support. A lot of students and families, especially in the immigrant community, they don't reach out sometimes until it's too late, but what Malena did was very proactive. So before the SHSAT, 1 year before, the family reached out, let's begin support. And before college applications, Malena attended every webinar, workshop. I mean, everything we offered, like a sponge, she soaked up. And it's an honor to say that that's what we need, and this is really truly a role model. I'm a child of immigrants myself, so I was the first one to go to college. I went to New York University, Steinhardt School of Education. It was a big wow. I went to law school, I went to Hofstra University. I passed the bar exam on my first try. That was a second wow. And then I opened the prep school, and it was quite a surprise, but I knew this was where my passion lies, in helping students navigate the journey. And I want to add that Malena is tutoring at Kweller Prep now, and she's actually working with multiple students right now, later today after this, and she's helping them with their college applications and specifically QuestBridge scholarship applications.
Amazing.
And so she's not just here in the present, talking about her journey, she's giving back.
Absolutely.
And I really feel like that was my calling in life also, to be honest with you, and I love it. I love being part of this journey and endeavor, and it's exciting.
Thank you, and we're about to hear more in a few minutes about how Malena is encouraging other students. So coming up next on Tiempo, we'll continue our discussion with Malena Galletto, and also ahead, the history-making honor for the Queen of Salsa, Celia Cruz, and how you can be a part of it. Across the tri-state prepare to head back to school. Here's a goal any student would be excited to achieve: getting into an Ivy League school. Well, a first-generation Latina student from New York City, Malena Galletto, joins us once again, and she got into 8 Ivy League schools. We're also joined by Malena's tutor, Frances Kweller, from the Kweller Prep Tutoring Center. Welcome back. And Malena, you're planning on studying at Harvard this fall, very soon. You said you're moving in next week?
Yes.
So you're planning on studying government and physics. Tell me about these choices and what drew you to these areas of study.
Well, first for physics, I went to the Bronx High School of Science, and there I absolutely fell in love. I had incredible teachers which were able to help me understand physics and want to get into it more. In terms of government, a passion of mine that I've had with me since I was little is wanting to be a change maker, to make the world a better place. And as of now, a goal of mine is to go to law school, become a lawyer, and help the world become a better place. So hopefully through government, I can start to be on that journey.
Absolutely. Now, I know you have a whole webinar about this, and we encourage students who want to know more to watch your webinar, but what's a message you have for young students who are trying to get into their dream school like you did?
A message I have for students who are about to start this daunting process, or even before that, is you can do it. If you're putting in the effort, your dreams are achievable. So find yourself a community that supports you, whether that be your family, your school, or an external community like Kweller Prep, which you can join. We are committed to helping students through this daunting process through webinars like one we hosted a couple of weeks ago, and through prep courses. So I highly encourage you to find the support, because this process can be difficult, but it's easier when you have support around you.
I watched your webinar, and so much of what you are encouraging people to do is really to manage their time and to organize. Do you or Frances want to talk about how critical that is? It's not just the work, but not being overwhelmed by the work, right? And being able to make lists and figure out when to do what, and so that you don't feel stressed.
I'm so happy to share that Malena started everything very early. And one thing I noticed a lot, mentioning webinars, you were always present a year in advance. So everything was always very proactive, and that's very important with the college process. Also, it's not just starting early and having the community, but you have to kind of just listen to the naysayers as well, and just discount that, because you want to take yourself and your own vision and say, I will succeed, I'm going to move forward. And that's so important, especially for young women. It's such an important moment to say, I'm going to apply to 28 colleges and all 8 out of 8 Ivy Leagues, no matter what everyone says, because a lot of people have different opinions, and it's just so important to forge ahead and to move forward.
One more question for Malena before we go. I want to hear a little bit more about your family's tango dancing and music influence, and just a little bit more about how that made you who you are.
Yeah, so my parents are from Argentina, and they are Argentine tango dancers, and that is something I am extremely proud of. I was actually named after a tango, Malena, and that was what my personal statement was about throughout the college process. But, you know, I grew up in the New York City tango community, and they have supported me through everything, and I am eternally grateful for that.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, ladies. Really appreciate it. Before we go, we wanted to share one last bit of exciting news. The Queen of Salsa could soon be in your pocket. New quarters featuring Celia Cruz are now in circulation. The U.S. Mint shipped out the new quarters last week. It's the 4th coin issued in the American Women Quarters program. The Cuban-American singer was, of course, a central figure in New York's salsa scene and, of course, around the world. She died in 2003. This coin shows her wearing one of her signature hairstyles and expressions next to her. Her motto, azúcar. We thank you for spending part of your Sunday with us. That wraps up another edition of Tiempo. I'm Sonia Rincon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.